Good day. This is Group 23 of the Accounting Department, University of Lagos, and we are going to be speaking on information system and strategy. The strategies that companies use to win customers, earn market share, make profit and grow rely on the application of information system strategy on business areas such as human resource, manufacturing, marketing, and supply chain management. In this video, we are going to examine 5 areas, which includes: number 1, the 5 forces that shape an industry competitive structure; 2, external forces that affect how these 5 forces operate; 3, value chain models used by organizations; 4, competitive strategies that companies can apply; finally, number 5, how non-profits can take advantage of information system to manage their operations.
My name is Nnamdi, a 300-level student of accounting, and I'll be speaking on information system and strategy in relation to Porter's 5 competitive forces. There are several strategies a company can devise to increase their market share, increase profitability, gain more customers, and grow their business, which rely majorly on innovative information technology. IT-related strategies have the potential to completely transform an industry. Porter's strategic model rely on 5 competitive forces, which are the threats of new entrants, power of the supplier, power of the buyer, threats of substitute, and rivalry among existing companies. Threats of new entrants are usually high when startup costs are low, and new entrants can easily enter the industry with little or no experience. Existing companies devise several ways to reduce new entrants from coming in, or by cutting them out through the use of innovative information system. For instance, an existing company is of the advantage of higher volume, which can lead to low cost of production. An example of this involves a situation where a wireless call carrier uses networking effects to provide free calls to similar phones with the same network or with the same carrier. Power of the buyer. The power of the buyer increases when the buyer has a leverage over its suppliers and can demand deep discounts and several special offers. The power of the buyer occurs in a situation where the supplier has a limited number of buyers. For instance, a company whose major customer is government. Innovative technology has also affected or influenced the power of the buyers. For instance, there are several online companies or websites which create several companies of several products and the list of prices for these products. Customers or buyers can obviously go to this website, compare prices, leave feedbacks and reviews, which can influence the potential buyer's idea or knowledge of this product. Another competitive force includes the power of the supplier. The power of the supplier is usually high when the supplier is the only one in the game and can charge more prices for their products and services. We have the threats of substitute. Threats of substitute in an industry can occur where there are alternative products which offer attractive savings. An alternative product or a substitute can pose as a threat when it supplies important products and services through different means. For instance, video conferencing can serve as an alternative for face-to-face meetings, which would help to reduce the budget on business travels and business meetings. We should also be aware that an industry's profitability and competitive structure is affected highly by the intensity of rivalry among competitors. All these strategies leverage information system to succeed, and this provides the company with a competitive advantage amongst other competitors.
Good day. My name is Emmanuel Ayodele, and I'll be continuing for where my colleagues stop. I'll be talking about external factors. Under external factor, we have disruptive innovation, government policies, complementary product and services, environmental events. So I'll be explaining these points I just said right now. What is a disruptive innovation? A disruptive innovation is a innovation whereby a new product or services is being introduced into the industry and has the potential to reshape that industry. A disruptive innovation is a new product or services often springing from technological advantage that has the potential to reshape the industry. So, and then it brings a radical and unexpected breakthrough that first replace the lower end product, but then rapidly overtake the higher end of the market. And it fundamentally changes aspect of five forces. For example, by reducing entry barriers for newcomers and then empowering buyers with far more information about the prices, the competitors, and virtually eliminating all switching costs for many products, and it facilitates a vast and global marketplace in which competitors can spring from any corner of the globe, setting up shops online to compete with your neighboring stores. Then the economist Joseph Schumpeter's, he used the term creative disruption to describe what happened in an industry when a disruptive innovation is threatening the establishment. Is threatening the established player. When I mean established player, I'm talking about companies that have been in existence in the industry before the introduction of new companies. And the newcomer, they find the way to capitalize on a new technology, while many incumbents resist the change to seek ways to protect their old business model. And music industry is actually a poster child of creative destruction. Then the next one is government policies. Government policies and funding priorities, they have a drastic effect on how industries operate and how they evolve. Patent is introduced to reduce threat of new entrants in the market. And for example, while low-cost loan to small business can increase the threat, then organizations frequently lobby for government actions to influence how the five forces operate and improve profits. And then we'll talk about, I'll be going to the next one now, complementary service and products. I talk about creative innovation, which talking about introduction of new products to the market, entrance of new industries that has technological advantage to shape the industries. They talk about government policies, introduction of patents, and introduction of low cost loan to newcomer industries. Then going now to complementary services and products, we are told that many industries are interrelated with each other, and one can influence the others. Just like when a desktop publishing software, for example, it makes computer and a color printer much more useful to small businesses, that they save money to develop menu signs and broken in home companies offering special paper and also benefited. Then companies are embedded in complex economic system that include related industries, making product and services, competitors themselves, suppliers, and also consumers. In the event of destructive innovation, it will definitely affect the whole community, whereby existing players are forced to exist in markets because of the introduction of new technology by the newcomer company. And then some of the most powerful strategies come from the visionary who propose fundamental changes for industries in the ecosystem and persuade others to come along. This is the case of Bill Gates. When Bill Gates changed in the early of his career, he moved computers from mainframe to desktop. You can see he moved computer from mainframe to desktop, making it introducing more to the society, thereby chasing out companies that are using the old mainframe computer. Then the last one I'm talking about is the environmental event and the wild card. When we're talking about environmental event, we're talking about natural disasters that happen, like Hurricane, the snowstorm, the pandemic, the earthquake, the strike, the civil unrest that have major effects on entire industries. Sometimes all these things happen without warning. The Hurricane Sandy, for instance, causes major losses for business that have to shut down, such as restaurants, retailers, and cable providers. However, some industries benefited once rebuilding such construction. Some companies actually benefit from the pandemic, like after it is over, like construction companies. Then the rising energy costs. Companies that are used to in-house delivery, they are used to door delivery, they cannot do that again because of rise in energy consumption, rise in conservation innovation, and e-commerce company that rely on a small shipment truck to people's home, they have to raise their shipping fee because of the rise in the gas price, in the energy cost. And then the last one, the leaders need to take into account the nature of the industry and how the five competitive forces play out. They also need to consider the factor affecting the changes. Then Michael Porter developed a model that helps these strategists to think about how the organization can actually create value and improve the firm's position. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Nnamdi Ugochukwu, and today I was speaking on the concept of value chain. So firstly, what is value? Value can be defined as a benefit derived from obtaining a particular product or service. So In order for a firm or any entity to thrive and gain competitive advantage over its fellow competitors, it has to constantly create value. So the concept of value chain, just propounded by Michael Porter, is a framework for analyzing how to add value to a firm. So for every firm, they have to find and devise ways to add value. And the value chain within an entity is divided into two, which are the primary activities and the supporting activities, which are also known as the secondary activities. The primary activities are divided into five. The first one, which is inbound logistics, second one, operations, third one, outbound logistics, fourth one, marketing and sales, and lastly, the service. So for the inbound logistics, it's concerned with receiving materials and components into the entity and storing them until when they're needed. And for the operations, it has to do with converting these materials and components into finished goods. So the process of converting the materials already received into finished goods is what the operations activity is concerned with. Then for the outbound logistics, it's concerned with storing up the finished goods already before sale. So it's concerned with the activities that have to do with storing already converted goods as finished goods for sale before they are eventually sent out to the consumers. Then for the marketing and sales, it has to do with all the activities involved in creating awareness for that product. So when you talk about marketing and sales, it has to do with promotion and advertisement. Then lastly, service. The service activity has to do with all activities that occur after the sale of that product or service. So all after sales services such as installation warranty, and maintenance and repairs, and every after sales service has to fall under that service activity. Then for the supporting activities, you have procurement, and procurement can add value by sourcing for cheaper materials that help to reduce the cost of that product, and as it in turn add value to the firm or the entity. Then secondly, we also have the technological development, and this has to do with IT, and we all know the importance of IT in any entity, as it makes operations easier and faster and helps to ease stress off the staff in that entity. So when we talk about supporting activities in relation to technological development, we're talking about sourcing for IT systems and innovation to help ease the stress in the particular entity and make processes faster. The next one is human resource management, and this has to do with the recruitment and development of staff, and this can help to add value through the improvements of the skills of employees through training. So lastly is the corporate infrastructure, and this is involved with the organizational structure of the firm and how you can help to improve information systems through the corporate infrastructure, and in turn help managers to make better decisions. So in summary, the value chain framework has to do with value addition. So for any company to thrive and constantly gain competitive advantage, it has to prioritize value and value addition. So the value chain concept helps to break down different activities in the firm and help the managers of the entities to know how they can add value at each point of their production, which it could be operations, it could be their inbound logistics, and at every point in time, at every activity that they involve themselves in, they have to find ways to add value, which in turn would create value for the consumers and help the company stay competitive.
Good day, my name is Faith Udje, and I will be speaking on the competitive strategies in business. Becoming a leader in an industry takes uncanny skill and strategic thinking. Porter identified 3 strategies that a company can adopt which will most likely lead to success. Number 1 is the low-cost leadership strategy. Number 2, focus niche strategy. And number 3, the product differentiation strategy. And I'm going to be explaining each of them further in this video. First strategy is the low-cost leadership strategy, which means offering a similar product at a lower price compared to competitors. Some examples of companies that adopt the strategies include Walmart, Kai Motors, Southwest Airlines, and Lenovo, and many others. To be successful, the company has to cut down every gram of fat in the value chain, using information systems to automate and streamline processes and eliminate costly human labor. Southwest Airlines, for instance, reduced in-flight service and implemented ticketless reservation system. Walmart's enormous success as a low-cost leader in retailing comes especially from its IT-supported supply chain, the envy of its competitors. The strategy that we are going to be looking at is the product differentiation strategy. The product differentiation strategy simply means adding special features or unique add-ons on products for which customers are willing to pay more. This strategy tends to reduce the threats from substitute products and erect barrier to new entrants. Apple Computer is a clear example that cleverly takes this path over and over again with its Macintosh computers, iPad, iPhone, and iTunes music stores. Next strategy that I'm going to be looking at is the focus niche strategy, which involves differentiating the product or the service for a particular segment of the market. The goal is to find smaller group of customers who have special preference and then tailor your products and your services to them. .NET, for example, is an ad-free social media network that charges members a small fee every month. Twitter Space-like platform target people that are concerned about loss of privacy on free social network that make money from advertisement and sharing their information. Now that we have looked at the 3 competitive strategies that Porter identified that businesses can use, another thing that Michael Porter said, he said that companies should pick one strategy and stick with it. But not everyone agrees, because in this digital era, the 5 forces that shape competition in an industry has actually shaken the industry so much. So what companies are doing now is that they are adopting hybrid models, such as shouting for the best value for the lowest price.
Morning. My name is Alabi Esther Ibukonluwa, matric number 180-20119, and I'll be speaking on the impact of information systems on non-profit organizations. Reaching out to key stakeholders in a non-profit organization is one of its most vital and important functions. Why? Because funds play a key role in how the non-profit organization will function, implement its project, and just carry out its overall objectives. Two major areas that information system plays a key role in non-profit organization are volunteering and fundraising. Now, let me start with fundraising. So funds are a major aspect for non-profit organizations. They need to get funds from their donors, reach out to potential donors, and sort of create awareness for the charity organization and get potential bodies that can help and assist to notice them. Thanks to technology, there are so many tools that can be utilized by non-profit organizations to reach out to potential and current donors, like using a mailing list to send them emails, scheduled emails, to reach out to solicit for funds instead of writing letters that can take months or even years without getting to the recipients. Second important part is volunteering. Non-profit organizations can do nothing without the help of their volunteers, and so finding the right type of volunteers to fit each and every segment of their charity is very important to them. There are so many systems that now help to create a volunteer list and help to take data where they can fit, okay, what type of aspects and what skills do the volunteers have and where exactly they will fit in the organization. These are but a few points to buttress the point that information system plays an elaborate role in the entire process of running a non-profit organization. In conclusion, non-profit organizations actually need accurate and tailored information systems to help them carry out their day-to-day activities. And not just only non-profit organizations, including governments as well and other private companies. They all require some level of information system to help them create their business processes from start to implementation. And so the advantages and the benefits of using an appropriate information system cannot be overstated. Thank you.
And we hope that we have been able to explain in details information system and strategy. Thank you so much for watching.